What's up, guys? Welcome back to GoHamDiscGolf. I'm Big John, and today I'm going to do the review on the Prodigy D4, this guy right here. Before I tell you anything about it, just want to give you another quick reminder that the current giveaway is for the Prodigy D3. Click on the link right here, the little picture that pops up, and that will take you straight to the video so you can find out how to enter into this giveaway and perhaps win yourself a brand new Prodigy D3. Now, the Prodigy D4, the most understable of all the Prodigy D max distance driver lineup. Before we get into the actual meat of this disc, let's give you some technical specs of it real quick. The height of the disc is 1.9 centimeters, the rim depth is 1.2 centimeters, the rim width is 2.3 centimeters, and the max weight is 174.3 grams. Now, using Innova's flight scale, we can give this guy the numbers of a speed of 13, a glide of about 5 or 6, maybe in the middle somewhere, a turn of -3, maybe 2.5, and then a fade of 2 or 2 to 3. Now, just remember that the Prodigy just do not use the Innova flight scale. I just wanted to give you guys some numbers because it's one of the most universal ways to measure a disc. Now, what does this guy fly like? Well, check out this from Inbounds Disc Golf. Big thank you to Inbounds for letting us use their flight charts. This is the lineup of the D1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see the difference between all 4 of the discs. Like I said, the D4 is the most understable of all of them. What does this disc compare to? Well, I'll tell you this right away. The first disc that I thought of when I first threw the D4 was the Nuke SS. And you guys know that I still love the Nuke SS. It used to be my go-to driver for every situation. It was the first review I did on this channel. It was the first giveaway I did on this channel. I still love the Nuke SS. And the D4 does fly a lot like a Nuke SS. What else? A Katana. An Innova Katana flies a lot like a Katana. And then another one, just to throw it out there to give you guys a frame of reference, is the Legacy Cannon. Not a lot of people throw the Cannon. It is actually kind of hard for me to track down somebody that had one as a staple in their bag, so they let me throw it a few times. But the Cannon is also a lot like it. Now check out these flight paths from Inbounds again. This shows these 4 discs lined up, and you can see that the flight paths are all very similar. The one thing that I'll say about this though is that the D4, and you can kind of tell from the flight path provided by Inbounds, is that when this disc starts to slow down and starts to fade, instead of cutting hard to the left if you're a right-hand backhand thrower, instead of cutting hard to the left, it still tries to give you that forward penetrating fade. And that can sometimes, depending on conditions and depending on how high your throw was, that can sometimes give you an extra 20-30 feet. So it might be worth picking up. If you constantly throw the Nuke SS or Katana or a Cannon, think about the D4, guys, because this guy might be giving you that extra 20-30 feet that you've been looking for. But other than that, they all have very similar flight paths. So let me show you guys some footage of me and Junior actually out there throwing the D4. And I'll tell you what I thought about it. First off, and I know I keep saying it, but the plastic of these Prodigy discs is very nice. It's kind of like a cross between the Jolly Rancher plastic from Innova with its limited releases and top of the line Opto plastic from Latitude 64. It's a cross between there. It's a very grippy plastic. It's a very shiny plastic. Shiny plastic often makes me think that disc is going to slip out of my hand and release early. Not the case here, guys. It's also got what they call a quick release grip on the inside of the rim. From what I understand, that means that the disc doesn't have a sharp edge. But yeah, a lot of times you grab a new disc, no matter who it comes from, and it's got a really sharp ridge that almost feels like it needs to be thrown a lot to kind of worn down a little bit. Well, the Prodigy just don't have that, which means that right out the box you can start throwing them and not even worry about it. You don't need to break them in to get them just to feel right in the hand. They feel really good, like I said, right out of the box. Now, when I was throwing this guy, I was taking note that the rim feels really good in the hand, especially on a power grip. I've said it before on a couple of other Prodigy discs, but it doesn't feel like it's too shallow, like it's going to release early, and it doesn't feel too deep. You can get your fingers in there right at the right amount, and you just fit really flush with a power grip. Now, how was this disc flying for me and Junior? Well, I'll tell you this. This guy, the wind can abuse this disc a little bit. but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It plays along with the wind very nicely. If there's no wind, you can expect to, if you're about my arm speed, if there's no wind, you can expect a really nice S-curve out of this disc on a flat release. I throw right-hand backhand, so if I'm throwing it on a flat release and there's not much wind, then I can expect it to turn a good amount and then fade back at the end, which is pretty much what a Nuke SS does for me. But this guy was getting a little more distance than a Nuke SS, maybe, like I said it before, 20-30 feet. Now if I put him on an anhyzer, this guy would just hold an anhyzer forever, and I'm talking about like, holy crap, when is it going to stop? That anhyzer's really long, and I had to go chase after the disc. You know, 425 feet on long anhyzer. Throwing it on a hyzer, it does like to fight back, but not too much. It can still hold a hyzer, a spike hyzer really well, but for something like that, I would rather go to a D2 or a D3. I think this guy is your nice open fairway, give me a lot of room to work, straight flat driver. It's not going to fly straight as an arrow for you. It's going to turn and then it's going to come back. Now, one of the things that I really liked about this disc is that it hyzer flips extremely well. If I release it on a nice slight hyzer line, but I put a lot of snap into it, I put a lot of stank and torque on this disc, then it will flip up nicely, hold a straight line, and then give me that sweet penetrating forward fade at the end. Really nice for that kind of stuff. Now, if you do have a big arm, if you're a power thrower, if, like I said, if you put stank on every single disc and it flies far and hard for you, this guy might turn over a bit much for you. You might end up turning him into a roller. And if you're just starting out and you don't have much arm speed yet, or you're not that experienced, you don't have a good snap in your wrist yet, this guy will probably end up flying pretty straight for you. I'd say that out of all the Prodigy D drivers, this guy's probably the most new player friendly. If you don't, like I said, if you don't have that snap, it's probably going to fly really straight for you. So that's pretty much what you can expect out of the Prodigy D4. Now, here's the question. Should you go pick up a D4? Well, you got to ask yourself a couple questions. Do you throw a Nuke SS? Do you throw something like that that gives you a nice, hard, sweeping S-curve? If so, the Prodigy might be right for you. You might get a little more distance out of it. Do you love to hyzer flip a max distance driver? Then yes, go get the Prodigy D4. This guy is a hyzer flip king. Are you a newer player? Do you not carry any speed 13 discs in your bag? Do you feel like you don't have enough skill level or enough power to throw a speed 13 driver? This guy's a speed 13, so it might fall into that category. If you don't feel like you can throw it, I don't suggest you throw it at all. But like I said, if you throw stuff that does things similar to this, then try out the D4, because you will probably be impressed. I was impressed with how it flew. If I still threw a Nuke SS, then I would seriously be considering replacing it with a Prodigy D4. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of understand what you can expect out of the D4. And that's going to be it for today, guys. So I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to go ham.